Hey guys, welcome to Skycurser Daily number 14. Today is going to be pretty basic. I'm going to knock out two bugs that I'm aware of. One bug is the credit counter, or the insert coin, basically whenever Gaki comes on screen, when either defeating Gaki or when Gaki is introduced. The other bug is a very small, simple bug. Is the katana and the impact of the katana on a necrostar whenever the katana swipes the necrostar. It's currently sitting right on top of Skycurser because that's the origin of the katana, but we want to make the impact connect with wherever the Necro Star is connecting with the katana. So we're going to fix that. Additionally, we're going to just do a lot of focus on tech debt paydown. So that means reorganizing kind of the way we're doing things, taking things out of the events themselves and putting them directly into scripts. And that should save us a lot of time in the future. But first, before I get started in any of this, the game is in a pretty good state right now. I'm going to go ahead and try to fix these bugs, but before that, because the game is in a decent state, I'm going to go ahead and export the game, but first I'm going to save it and make sure we're good in terms of version control. I'm going to make sure I'm following Git best practices, GIT, and that's what I'm using to do our file control. And I basically have a Bitbucket account and am pushing our branches, our feature branches and our bug branches up to Bitbucket. So I'm going to focus on that first, and after I'm done with that, then I'll get into fixing the bugs. The reason why I want to focus on this first is because if I get this into a good state, then we'll have a pretty decent build and be pretty ready for MGC. So let's go ahead and focus on that first. So I'm doing a get status. That should just indicate that I've got some changes that have been made. And we're going to add everything to this commit. Git add period adds everything. Waiting for some feedback here. Yeah, there's been a lot of files that have changed. So you can see some have been modified, but a lot of new files have been added since the last time. And I've got several large files which include some of the videos that have been recorded. Let me control C this because it's adding some extra files that I don't want it to add. So before I commit it, I gotta fix this really quickly. And I'll go ahead and let you see my monitor as well. Just kind of see what I'm working on at the moment. All right. So I could see why it was taking so long. There's a lot of extra files in here that are Skycurser files, but that don't necessarily belong in here at the moment. Some of these are downloads from Google Drive where I've downloaded the assets. Some of them are screen recordings for attract mode, and I think I've got this into a much better state now. Let me check one more thing. I feel like I might even have everything in place for that. Let's look at these included files. Okay. So I think I can even take these other files out. The thing is, I don't want to add more to my repo than I have to. Because if I do that, then it just gets really bloated. Yeah, these can go out of here as well. Okay, perfect. Again, we don't need these executables in here. And that should be it right there. So let's do another get status. So that should show a lot more accurate picture. Yeah. So now I can do a get add everything that you haven't accounted for, and see how much faster that was. And then do a get commit -a, so I can create a comment here. Griffin special updates. Also, death animation fixes for PEBs and FEBs. And now the katana and Griffin special connect properly with all units. So commit that, push it. And that's almost done. Okay, that's complete. And then do a get. So since that's pushed, that's basically updated. Now I need to do a get checkout dev. I basically just push it to the Git repo that I have on Bitbucket. Now I have dev checked out, and I want to pull origin sc-2 into dev. Okay, now my dev branch is up to date with all the most recent changes. If I want to do an export right now to so for user testing, then I can export out of the dev branch. But for now, I'm going to switch back over to SC2 and keep working out of that branch. But dev has a good snapshot right now of everything that's in it. So I'm up to date, and I can do an export if I need to. I'll just switch over to dev and pull out whatever assets I need. Okay. I'm going to do one more thing here. Okay, and I guess I'll show my screen one more time while I'm updating some tickets. Griffin Special is in a really good state right now. I don't think I have anything else to do with this. It is in stage. I still have to fix the afterburner, so I guess that's one more thing that I need to fix today. Katana Slash has actually been fixed. That was fixed yesterday. Going to add a card for these new bug fixes. And let's see, the bug fix that I need to work on is the fix Katana / Necrostar impact. Add that guy, and then fix insert coin bug. Insert coin Griffin special bug. Don't ask me how that got introduced, because it doesn't make a lot of sense to me yet. I'm going to have to just kind of do some reading and try to figure out why this is occurring. So those are on the docket, and let me see, there's this is the afterburner. So I got these 3 bugs to knock out, and then I'm on tech debt paydown. Okay, So let's see if we can fix this afterburner first, because it's kind of puzzling why the afterburner is not behaving as expected. So I'm just going to do a quick test and see if I can figure out what it is really quickly by changing the X offset. The X offset is 40, and I'm adding the X offset. When flying backwards and when flying right, I am subtracting the X offset, which is good. But let's look at the sprite of the Skycurser, and let's zoom into that guy a little bit. Okay, point of origin on this guy is at 50. So that's probably the biggest problem right there. And let's try to make this a, well, man, it's only 82 large. So from here to here is 50. 40 should be sitting out around here somewhere. Let's just give it a higher offset to test and make sure. And that should show us where it's sitting at. If it's sitting in a weird place, we should be able to see it. Alright, so going in game here, give it a minute to compile. Got a lot of assets now. We got a lot of sound assets and a lot of video assets, so well, enough to slow down compile time. So it'll probably take about half a minute to a minute to compile. Especially when I do the first compile of the day, it takes a little bit longer. Okay, it's loading up the last of the assets right now. Alright, here we go.
Skycurser. Mission 1. Death at dusk. Go!
And if you'll notice, the afterburner is not sitting there. I expect the afterburner to basically be sitting at the back of the jet, the back of Skycurser. And it was there at one point, and then just all of a sudden just disappeared off the radar. So I'm trying to just kind of troubleshoot that at the moment. I'm thinking, the next thing I'm thinking is maybe it hasn't properly been instantiated, so I'm going to take a look at that. There may have been something that we've done somewhere along the road to disable it. So disable the instantiation of that object. So let me go see where that guy should be created with the create event. Afterburner. Instance create x minus 45 seems right to me. Object afterburner right there. going to search through all the scripts and see if it's being touched in any other file besides the location that I think it should be. Boss 1 animation. I'm not sure why it's there. Okay, Skycurser pointer, that object is no longer valid. I never use that anymore. But script boss 1 animation is kind of perplexing. Let's go look at that. 171. Huh. If screen blank less than or equal to room speed times 1. Basically, this is handling all the different animations of the boss, specifically the death animation. And we're making the afterburner disappear at this point in time. But I don't see any reason why it should be gone by default, especially since boss 1 animation really doesn't take effect until the boss gets introduced later on. So let me see if I'm controlling the image alpha anywhere else. I don't see anything here that's controlling the image alpha. I see that it's visible. Let's look at the step event. Nothing crazy in the step event. If Skycurser exists, kind of do nothing else. Do a destroy of the object. Alright. End step. Let's look at that one. The movement. If Skycurser exists, stay with him. Fly forwards, fly backwards. Everything looks right to me about this so far. Let's just see if it exists in general. Make sure it just gets created. I'm just throwing a debug message in here, script dm created. So we should see created and exists as debug messages in game. Just trying to debug this because again, I'm just not sure what happened to the afterburner, so we're trying to figure that out. I think one other thing I might do in just a moment is just make the game load in full screen as opposed to its current resolution. Because we're building this for the arcade, the game loads in 320 by 240, and if I don't have it loading to full screen, it doesn't take over the screen and make it full screen. Instead, it loads very small compared to the 1360 monitor it has on screen here.
Skycurser. Right. Mission 1. Death. Dust.
See that it's created. Not working. Oh. There it is. So it's created and it exists. Maybe I should do one other thing here. So I just got out of there. So it is running. Just looking through everything here. Forwards. Backwards. look at the draw event. Why does the afterburner? I'm not sure why the afterburner has this katana draw event on it. If the katana is flashing, then make the afterburner flash. That makes no sense to me. I'm gonna cross this guy out. Comment this guy out for a minute. Okay, let's see where we're at with this. Okay, so we're compiling again.
Mission 1. Death at
backwards.
dusk. Go!
To me, it's almost like the image alpha is not working as expected. Maybe the image alpha is turned off or something. Maybe I need to just go look at the sprite itself. Alright, let's try this again. So let's look at the sprite. Looks good here. Yeah, so there's literally only 4 frames to the sprite. Are you checking the X and Y of the afterburner? I should check the X and Y of the afterburner. Let's do that. We'll do it in the step event here, and script dm X. Put a little bit of information here, sorry. X plus string. Maybe you put an extra number in there by accident. It's possible. Let's see what we got here. Now this is probably going to give us a lot of information, and because my debugger's not 100% built out yet, it'll probably stop being useful very quickly, because I think what happens is it just tails off the screen. So we may have to do our debug messages with the standard show debug message that GameMaker has. So we'll just take a look at this. Okay, almost finished. Here we go.
Mission 1. Death dusk. Go!
Yeah, so the debug message is still running, but it just flies off screen really quickly because my debug message here, the positioning of it is not right. So, but everything looks fairly accurate there. All the way off screen. Back on. Alright. Let's turn that into a show debug message and watch. I probably should just modify my script. Yeah, let's do that. Script dm. Save, and then what we'll do is I won't modify that. I'll just change it to show debug message. It seems like GameMaker has a hard time overloading variables, so I can't choose not to pass an argument into a script. I have to pass all arguments into every script. And so if I'm using script debug message anywhere else, I would have to go pass extra variables in. Basically, I was just going to pass a variable in like true to say turn this into a show debug message. But since I don't want to go back and change all my calls to that script, I'm going to just straight up call show debug message. So let's try that. And I might need to run this in debug mode just to see the show debug message. So
Mission 1, Death at Dusk. Go!
let's run this in debug mode. Try this again. I just use the GUI draw event to display text for debugging. Yeah, and so that's what that's basically what I'm using. I'm using the draw event on the universal object, the object controller persistent. So if I open that up, I'll show you in a second when this is finished. Debug messages show up in the compiler window. Ah, I see.
Sky. Mission 1, Death at Dusk. Go!
Ah, there it is. So it's moving as you would expect it to move, right? So X position 24, Y position is moving down. If I go back and forth, then the X position gets as you would expect it to, which to me this points to something like, why is the X position positive all the way across the screen? Perfect. Then it's there, which I would expect to do something off the screen. Shift second to see the difference. Yeah, I can do that. But I almost think more importantly, like, I would think that I would see it. I don't think that I'm covering it up. I don't think the shift is covering it up. But yeah, we can do that. Okay, so the controller persistent, I wanted to show you where my debug message was if I'm doing that. So the debug message, I've got it basically showing up in controller persistent draw event, and I'm just outputting the data based on a DS list that I've created. It's basically an array, and it just drops it to the next position based on the string height of the current message, and then drops it down that much so that the next message can display properly. It's not perfect though, because you saw basically my debugging message went all the way off screen. I would have to rework this a little bit to make sure that didn't happen. Instead, maybe it would start scrolling when it hits the bottom of the screen or something. But yeah, I don't normally use show debug message, as you can see there, so thanks for pointing out where it's showing up at. I thought it might show up in debug mode, but apparently it shows up in the compiler window. So sounds are way louder than me. Yeah, let me turn that down. That should help a little bit. All right. Now let's go back to see the afterburner object Skycurser's X and Y. So we say aft XY, aft Y, and just say Skycurser X string object Skycurser and then put just kind of a pipe separator, And that should be pretty good for that. Let's just do the same thing for the Y position. So we should see them all right next to each other. Let's try this again. Again, though, I feel like, man, the image alpha it's got to be something with the image alpha, something really ridiculous, because it just feels like it should be on screen and that Skycurser shouldn't be covering it up. See if I've got any more debug messages. Yeah. I'm just going to take these guys out. Okay. Or just remove them after it hits a certain number. Yeah, exactly. But scrolling could work too. Yeah, I mean, I think removing after it hits a certain number would be the actual way that I do it. So basically, if it pops off screen, I would destroy whatever that line is, because I don't want all that data saved and continuing to run while I'm looking at debug messages. Okay, here we go.
Mission 1. Death at dusk. Go!
Interesting. Skycurser X. I mean, that's about right, because I had it offset by 50. Looks about right. The Y position is correct. I mean, it's almost exactly the same, which is right. And the X position is, if the Skycurser X is at 120 and the X position is at close to 70, then that's, or 60 even, that's fairly accurate, because the X position of the afterburner should be behind Skycurser, so the fact that it's a little bit less than Skycurser is fine. Interesting. Okay. Let me just make sure. This is probably overkill, but let's just say image alpha equals 1. I mean, I just don't know where I would have set image alpha to a different value anywhere, other than the script boss animation, which again does not run until the boss gets generated, and that's not till the end of the first level. So we do create event, line 40, position 38. Let me just type afterburner. See if I am controlling it somewhere else. So boss 1 animation, Skycurser, afterburner offset, X and Y offset, afterburner in the end step event. I'm not seeing anything different here. Okay. Found afterburner in object Skycurser pointer, which again I'm not even using right now. Found in the create event. Yeah, not even worried about that. But the X and Y offsets are now, I think they are now not needed. Or at least the multiple X and Y offsets that I have right here, they're no longer needed, so I could potentially clean up some of that, which I might end up doing right here. Let's go to the end step. Because right now, the X and Y offsets, well, I guess they are a little bit different for a couple. Specifically when it goes down, it's different on both of them. So we could basically say if this, else. And it could even be a little bit more clean by going like this. Since the x is always the same. Level or up. Same with this guy, looks exactly the same. And say level or up. Take this guy out. This might be a problem when flying backwards. Since this is on a step event, it's running every single... Oh, it's only when it's 0. And I'm only ever setting it back to 1, so that's fine then. It only ever sets the X scale backwards once. I was concerned that it would be flipping the X scale forward and backwards. Ah, the fun of debugging things, yeah. Especially when it doesn't feel like anything should be different about this. Okay. Let's try again. Now I did turn on the image alpha, and I did clean up a couple lines of code that were duplicates, basically. So I'm forcing the image alpha to always be 1. I don't think that's it, but if it is, there's something weird that's controlling image alpha on this object in particular.
Skycurser. Mission 1. Death at dusk. Go!
It's not there. Y position. Y position is changing as I'm going down, as expected. X position is moving as expected, about 50 to 60 different. Maybe, I've got a really good idea. I wonder what the depth on that freaking afterburner is. That could be my problem. That could be my problem. Maybe try setting image X scale to 1. See if it's scaled properly, maybe. I'll try that in a second if the depth idea doesn't pan out. So let me check out this depth potential issue first. See if that is what the problem is first. So let's look at the depth on this guy. Don't see, okay, so depth is at 100, which I think that's pretty much Skycurser's depth. Yeah. Maybe if I set the depth to 0, just to see it. Because if it's behind Skycurser, then it'll come out in front of Skycurser. And I'm going to go ahead and, well, let's just leave that there for a minute. I'll take the image alpha out in a second. And let's change this to 0. That should mean that it's going to be, 99 layers ahead of 100. Or I guess it would be 100 layers ahead of 100. because it's not starting at 1, it's starting at 0. Depth, let's see. Come on, depth.
Skycurser. Mission 1. Death at dusk. Go!
Depth, don't see it. It's at 100, I mean at 0. It should basically be out in front of everything. In the debug messages, they're still showing that it should be there. Weird, man. Image alpha, I'm forcing image alpha to 1, so it's not like it's... Alright, that's bizarre. Okay, wanted to check one more thing out here. I know that I'm setting the afterburner to a variable, but am I using it again? Nope. Let me make sure I'm not using it again by also checking out. I don't think it could be in the alarm. Events, fire turret. Okay, and your idea, Jackal Gamer, was to set the X scale to 1. Step. Original X scale equals image X scale. I mean, I can guess force it to here. Force it to 1 there, because then I use original X scale a little bit later. I destroy it if Skycurser doesn't exist, because Skycurser creates it later. Image X scale equals 1. Or image X scale equals negative image X scale. Let's just set both of these to 1 to force it. I didn't mean to cut that. I meant to copy it. Step left, 0, step right, 0, flip. I don't know why that's in there. I don't think I'm using that right now. But still looking here. Let me verify that depth works in positive to negative, in that negative will bring it forward, so I'm checking that real quick. Depth. Just verifying. Yeah, a negative depth brings it forward. So that's what I did. I set it down to 0. So we should be good there in all places. And let's try to see what's going on here.
Mission 1. Death at dusk. Go!
So perplexing. 82, 139. Doesn't make sense. It should just be sitting right on top of Skycurser. Frustrating, frustrating. The other thing I'm thinking about doing is just changing the image alpha of Skycurser to, you know, almost 0. Image alpha equals 0.1. So it'll be almost invisible. But then go back. I'm going to change the X scales back. I don't see anything. I didn't see anything behave, you know, differently than I would have expected when changing the X scale back. So all right. So Skycurser will be basically almost invisible. I wonder if like there's some issue with like a mask, like a hitbox covering it up or something. I'm not sure. That wouldn't make much sense to me though. The only thing I could really think of is the katana that would be doing something like that, but I mean, I've never had that problem before, so.
Mission 1. Death at dusk. Go!
I mean, there he is. There's the freaking afterburner showing that it should be there. Yeah, I mean, it's still acting like it's there the whole time. So freaking bizarre. Alright, the other thing I'm thinking of that we could do is potentially let Skycurser control the afterburner. Maybe duplicate the afterburner and create an instance of that to test. So you're saying create the object, create a duplicate object. Sure, I'll try that. What the hell? At this point, there's, you know, it's none of it's making sense why it's not working the way I would expect it to. Object afterburner dupe. Hit OK. So I'm going to do this a little differently then. Since I have a duplicate, I'll just leave the one there, but then I'll create a step event here, an end step. I'll create the duplicate. I'll go ahead and create the duplicate right next to the initial afterburner dupe equals instance create x minus 45y. Yeah, this whole thing's really funny because just one day I realized that the went through a little bit of trouble initially making sure the afterburner was exactly the way we wanted it, and then one day I just noticed the afterburner was gone, and yeah, it's just really weird because as you can see, it looks like everything should be in place for it to be working, but I don't know, something weird is going on with it. So afterburner, I'm gonna make that a much shorter variable name. AD afterburner dupe. AD dot x equals x. AD dot y equals y, but change this to, let's say, minus 60 instead of minus 50. That should still work. I just had an idea. Let me think for a second. I wonder if something weird like an outside room event is occurring. I don't see that. Basically, most of my other objects have an outside room event where if they go outside the room, I catch that and I destroy it because I don't want to have a bunch of objects off screen taking up memory. But I don't see anything in here. I mean, of course, I could do it in a step event, but I'm not doing anything in here that would destroy it if the X position is off screen. And I'm not doing the same. I'm basically not doing that either in here. Let me just make sure afterburner. Yeah, it's not there. So, but I do have an end step event where the duplicate dot x should equal Skycurser's x minus 60, and then y should be y. So let's just try that. Yeah, that's what I was just talking about. You must have thought of that at the exact same time I thought of it. No outside view events on either one of these guys, on object Skycurser or the afterburner. I do that with all the enemies because it's obvious to, but Skycurser really can't even go outside the room except for the very beginning where he flies off and comes back on, and so that's why I thought maybe the afterburner's getting destroyed as soon as it goes off screen, but I don't think that's what's happening because I don't see that showing up in the code. Okay, here we go. Let's try again.
Mission 1.
Oh, I got that
Death at
really
dusk. Go!
Is not helpful. I need to make sure the debug here reads differently. Dupe. I'm going to change Skycurser back to 1 instead of 0.1. Good there. And the other thing I'm going to do, let me just look at this draw event real quick. Wonder if this could be a problem. Like maybe I'm not doing this thing in the. Maybe I remember reading somewhere that in the draw, if you have a draw event, sometimes it expects it to be drawn. And I'm wondering if I had it working right here, like in this line right here, but then when I maybe modified something along this line that I blocked it from ever getting into, you know, either this if or this else statement. And so I'm just going to try this and see if this works. This is inside the afterburner duplicate. And if that's the case, what I'll do is I'm sure I still want this to execute, but I got to make sure I handle what happens if that condition is never met. I definitely want to still display it. So draw cell for it will be invisible. Yeah, exactly. If you have it, yep. If it's anything is in the draw event, yeah. So I think that's what's happening. I wanted to make sure Skycurser was, yeah, 1. Well, I can just take the image alpha out. So pretty sure we just solved our problem. Let's verify this. My goodness.
Mission 1. Death at dusk. Go!
I don't see the duplicate even showing up in the, for whatever reason, the duplicate's not even showing up in the debug message information. Not to fear, I'm gonna just drop this guy, delete him. So I'm about 99% certain that that's the problem. So I'm gonna remove this end step event. Man, I'm just shocked that didn't work. Delete. Remove the afterburner duplicate out of the create event. There it is. Oh, ha! Look, I'm sitting there creating object afterburner again. That's why object afterburner dupe didn't even run. Freaking. Man, it's the little things that'll get you as a programmer. Okay, so, and then back to afterburner. And drop this guy. Yeah, man, I know, I'm excited because I'm just like, get this thing back in there. Alright, play. Alright, here we go. It's going to look really funny because I think the position is going to be off on it, and it's going to be at depth 0, which will probably be above Skycurser if it's actually anywhere close to being on Skycurser. So I'm going to have to change the depth back and change the position back as well. Yeah, it's really easy to miss, you know, like that's one line. I would even venture to say that there are thousands of lines of code here, probably tens of thousands. There's a lot of code in this code base so far.
Mission 1.
There it is.
Death at
Boom.
dusk. Go!
Perfect. Now I just got to fix the positioning of it. And it was at 50. I'm going to try 40 because I think that was correct. Let's just see real quick. And I'm actually, while this is loading, I'm going to change this to full screen mode. So next time I play it, it should be full screen. How far along are we on this game? We've been working on it for a while. It's not our full-time job, and we all have separate jobs. I'm the only developer on it. And this is literally the first game I've programmed.
At dusk.
We are. We've got the first stage pretty much complete. Perfect, it's in a good spot. So yeah, we've got the first stage is pretty much done, and so we're in a really good spot with it. We're going to MGC with it. We've been contacted by a lot of arcades who have seen this game online and won it. So we're actually building this game specifically for the arcade, and yeah, we've put probably close to a year into it in terms of like actual time. Um, I should say in terms of actual days, but in terms of actual time put in, I would say definitely less than a year, probably closer to maybe 5 or 6 months on it total time. If you were to call it, a 40-hour work week, if that, 5 or 6 months. So, but yeah, it's come along. It's been a learning process throughout because there's been a lot of documentation to read with Game Maker. So we're in a good spot with it, though. I think we're good on this bug, though. I think we just knocked it out. So thanks for helping me troubleshoot, Jackal Gamer. Appreciate it. Okay, so we got that done. The other thing I wanted to correct was where the bullet impact occurs on the Necro Star when actually connecting with the katana. If I can knock that out, we'll be in a good spot. So let's go look at it real quick. It wouldn't occur right there. It would definitely occur in... Are you working on any games right now, Jackal Gamer? It would definitely occur in the script weapon attack. Necro Star. And Metroidvania style game. Love it. Man, dude, I've been thinking about how I can create another, another game in my spare time, and all I can think about is Castlevania and Metroid, and trying to think of. So it's awesome that you said that. Cool. So you're doing most of your artwork. Do you ever try to commission anybody to do it? Like I know there's like GraphicRiver.net or something like that, where a lot of people are willing to offer up their artwork for, video games and stuff. So, and it's fairly cheap too. I mean, they're pretty, they do pixel art on there, and it's fairly cheap. The hard part about trying to do art and development, it's possible, but you can't give either the attention that it needs, I think, to be the best that you can be. It's best to like try to get a friend to do it, or outsource the piece that you want to do least and focus on the one that you want to do the most. That's my personal opinion. I can do art if it doesn't need animation. Yeah. Yeah, the guy who's doing all the artwork for this, like, he spent so much time. It's all pixel for pixel. He uses Photoshop. He doesn't use some of these other pixel graphic editors that a lot of people use. So, like, he's like literally every frame pixel for pixel. It's crazy. Okay. Object explosion, bullet impact, hit necrostar 1.x minus 22. Pixel edit, yeah, that's one of them that I was talking about. Else created at the XY position. I think that's correct. If the hit dot hotspot does not equal no one, because all we're trying to do is make sure it connects with the Necrostar hotspot right there, which is perfect. We don't care if it hits the hotspot. Well, Yeah, because we're not doing the bullet impact on either one of those. So this, again, feels right to me. Let me look at the Necrostar sprite. It's 100 wide. It's specifically 50 at its origin, is right in the center. And I would say, you know, that's 22, 25 off from center, but it's definitely not occurring that way. It's like the katana, it's almost like the katana has its own hit, its own impact that's occurring. So I want to check that out. Skycurser, weapons, katana. Let's look at the step event. Script weapon attack. Yeah, everything goes through script weapon attack, which is fine. Hit Necrostar 1. This is a problem. Well, maybe it's not a problem, because if the weapon is a Vulcan cannon or a shotgun shell, it's fine for it to, you know, originate at that impact point's X or Y position. I'm fine with that, but this does not seem to be firing as expected. Hmm. 3, 4, 5. That is weird. What in the world? 3 greater than or equal to, or I should say greater than or equal to 3, less than 6. Greater than or equal to 4, less than 6. Greater than or equal to 5, less than 6. That seems like overkill and not necessary. If reverse equals false, so it's traveling in the forward position, the way it should be, coming at Skycurser. Object Skycurser katana, everything looks spelled correctly. Use the hit Necrostar 1. It feels like when the katana connects with it, it's using this one instead. Almost like this one is not even occurring. So let's go test it and verify this. Okay. So I have 2 things I want to test on this, and the 2 things are what happens when you connect with a Necrostar and it doesn't hit the hotspot, and what happens when you connect with a Necrostar and it does hit the hotspot. What does the pixel animation do for, or what does the bullet impact animation do for either one of those? This should go full screen because I should have removed that. That should be taken off. So probably convert to full screen here in a second.
Mission 1. Death at dusk. Go!
going to fast forward to the Necro Stars. Okay, here we go. Right on top of the... Yeah, every single time the impact is right on top of the Skycurser, which is all incorrect. Alright, let's get out of there. Alright. So I'm interested to change up that script. Let me look at this guy first. Necrostar 1. Step event. Animation, movement, collide. None of that would, even the collide event doesn't affect what happens when the swipe occurs. So let's go back to that script weapon attack. I'm looking at the sprites again. Game Maker. Place meeting instead of instance place. I was doing some reading on that just recently. If I go place meeting instead of instance place, then it doesn't use, if I'm using precise masks on any of my sprites, or basically precise hitboxes, then it doesn't respect the precise hitboxes. So place meeting I try to stay away from generally, and a lot of times I do need to know the instance, and I don't think you can get the instance ID when you use place meeting. Do you use place meeting? The reason why I need the instance ID often is because I try to check properties after I connect with things often, or change properties, kind of depending on, you know, whatever I'm working on. Necrostar 1. I'm going to change this guy to hit Necrostar 1 to see if this changes anything, and I'm okay with leaving this at argument 0.y. I'm okay with leaving this at argument 0.y. Let's just change them both to .x minus 22, because I feel like for whatever reason it keeps hitting that one, and I'm just trying to play down this hunch, see if that's what it is. If that's what it is, I really don't have a problem leaving them both kind of the way they are. Yeah, and not all of my sprites have hitboxes that are precise, but most of them do.
Mission 1. Death at dusk. Go!
Okay, I'm probably going to fast forward real quick so I can get to the Necrostars again. Alright, here we are. Still did it. So to me that says it's not recognizing that it's connecting properly. It's either not in that block of code or it's somewhere else. Oh, I don't like where the afterburner depth is, because alright. The afterburner depth was in front of the clouds when it dropped below the clouds, so I want to fix that real quick. Yeah, it's still at 0. Let's put it to 100 where it was. Perfect, back to where it was. Okay, what else? So let's do some debugging. and see if it's hitting where we think it should be hitting. Show debug message, connection with NecroStar. And let's see. Let's call this a bullet impact. Let's say this is anything to show yet. Drew crazy. And what do you mean? Like, do you want me to go in game? Is that what you're asking? And bullet impact. This is not bullet impact, but this should be katana impact, and that will stay bullet impact. Let's try that. Yeah, I'll show you the progress. Also, let me show you this. You see some of our progress here as well. But I'll go in game right now because I got some debugging to do. I actually need to change something before I go in game. I need to make this not full screen. So as soon as it goes in game, I'm going to hop out real quick. And reboot because I just should have prevented it from loading full screen, mainly because I want to look at the debug messages whenever I'm connecting with NecroStars. So let's try again.
Skycurser. Mission 1. Death at dawn.
Turn the debug message
Go!
For the afterburner. Okay. Turn off the afterburner debug. Thanks, True Crazy. Yeah, it's a shmup. We are initially building it for the arcade, and we've had some good arcades reach out to us so far. They've seen kind of our progress online, and then once we get it in the arcade and realize our goals there, we may then port it over to other platforms. So that's kind of our goal with it here. So we got that fixed. That should have turned everything off. And I've still got the debug message on for the connection with the NecroStar, but I turned it off for the afterburner. Yeah, if you check out that tumblr.skycurser link I put right there, you can actually see the arcade machine that we have built for it. We have a prototype built for it, and we had a demo. Basically, we introduced the game here locally in Indianapolis, and had 300 people show up at a brewery, and it went really well. Yeah, well, lots of good feedback.
Mission 1.
Okay, I'm just going to fast forward straight to the connection with the so it doesn't say anything. Bullet impact, katana impact. Oh. So it's going back and forth somehow between bullet and katana.
Continue.
Still, the impact is right on top of it. Oh, this bullet impact is killing me. Thanks, man. Thanks a lot. Okay. Where could this be occurring that I'm not thinking about? I mean, I don't think it would be in the impacts itself. Let me make sure you guys can see my screen. Good. I don't think it would be in the impacts itself, but I'm going to go look. Has this project been featured on Yo-Yo Games yet? Good question. I don't think so. We've had multiple other old, arcade sites reach out to us and have published some articles on the game and just kind of the progress that we've made so far. But I don't know if Yo-Yo Games has reached out to us yet. Oh, you're talking about the guys at Game Maker. No, I don't think so. We definitely want to get in touch with these guys, especially because I think they would really like to see what we've got done so far. But yeah, we haven't reached out to them yet, and we've got some more to go still. I mean, we are going to be at MGC, Midwest Gaming Classic, April 11th and 12th, so we'll be there, and we'll actually have our prototype arcade box there, and we'll be, it's all set to free gameplay. Yeah, man. We're definitely gonna be talking to them about this whenever we're done, because I think they will really like it. So, awesome. Yeah, man. Thanks for the encouraging words too. I was gonna look at the bullet impact, which I'm trying to find right now. I don't actually see it in here, so that makes me think it's up here. Bullet impact, which I don't like the fact that it's up here. It should be down here. I'm dragging this down, see if I can get this to go. Come on. Game Maker, yay. Alright. Drew Crazy, thanks for the follow, man. Very much appreciate the support. Very much. All right. Create. Depth is minus 100. Fine with. Animation end should be destroying itself. That's fine. So it's not happening there. I think we can safely rule that out. I'm wondering if there's something weird going on with the Necrostar hotspot. I don't think there is. Outside room, flashing, draw should just be flashing. Yep, flash, flash, flash. Okay, object Necrostar blood, just to make sure. Nope, just destroy itself. And then anyone that can create something like this deserves a follow. Have you worked on this by yourself, or do you have a team? So if you're looking at the stream, you scroll right down below the video, you can see some information about the game. So there are 3 of us total working on this game, and none of us do this as our full-time gig. We all have. I'm a professional software engineer. One of the guys is a marketing director, and then the other guy is like a management consultant. So we do this in our free time, just something we're passionate about and have fun with. We spend a lot of time on this game, and so yeah, man, we've been really enjoying it. It's just kind of been a really good experience all around. So so there's a total of 3 of us. Chris Cruz and Phil Galobish are the other 2 guys. Necrostar. Let's look at the end step. That should just be controlling the hotspot, which it looks like it is. The step event, man, I'll go through those, but I don't think it's in any of those. Animation, movement, collide, speed engine. I mean, I keep having this weird feeling that it's related directly to where the katana is. Only going through the weapon attack. The end step, what's this? Okay, this keeps it lined up with Skycurser. When it's done, the katana destroys itself, which makes sense. Heyo! What's up, Marticus? And we're in a good spot here. I don't see anything weird going on here. Depth, katana, play sound, katana slashing. And if you're just joining us, kind of like swinging in, I see several people swinging in and out of the room. Currently, we are working on just a couple of debug things. We've already debugged a weird thing that was happening with the afterburner. Got that worked out. Jackal Gamer was in here, was a champ, kind of trying to help me troubleshoot what was happening there, and we finally figured it out. And then currently I'm working on trying to figure out why the bullet impact when we hit the Necrostar chunk occurs right on top of Skycurser, as opposed to where it should be happening, which is where the katana hits the Necrostar. Maybe it destroys it before it grabs the ID. Maybe it's when the katana is destroyed. Maybe it destroys it before it grabs the ID. Yeah, that's a possibility. But I would think if it was destroying it before it grabbed the ID, that it would basically, often when that happens, when it can't find the instance of the object, it just, you know, errors out. The game just kind of like dies and throws an error. So, nice. Show you a piece of the game. Yeah, I'll show it to you here in just a second, Marticus. I'm trying to, it'll be probably like 2 minutes tops. Katana's not happening there. It's got to be in the script. Weapon impact. Yeah, you saw that the connection with NecroStar was firing the debug message. Take the time, ain't going anywhere. Cool, man, thanks. Then we saw it alternate. Oh, I guess it was alternating here because I've got a bad message here. Impact occurring. Should say that instead of bullet impact because I've got a bullet impact there. I had a bullet impact there and I had one there. So that'll be a little bit more helpful. And then this looked like it was correct. X minus 22 makes me want. Oh. I think I know what it is. The sprite of the NecroStar. I feel like its origin is not. Well, no, I already looked at this earlier. The NecroStar sprite. Its point of origin is right in the center, so I was wrong in thinking that that could be it. What language are you using? We're using GameMaker language, Lewis Davies. So this is GameMaker Studio, and it's got GameMaker language, which is a lot like, yep, GML. It's a lot like JavaScript, if you're familiar with JavaScript at all. Somewhat similar to PHP. None of the functions are the same. You got to do a lot of reading on the functions and the methods that are available to you. But just kind of the basic programming syntax that you can use. It's very similar to JavaScript and PHP. All right, here we go. And I don't have this at full screen right now because I'm trying to look at some debug messages below.
Skycurser. Mission 1. Death at dusk. Go!
Top of Skycurser. Not really seeing the other messages come alive here. Yeah, I don't see any other messages right there. Okay. Okay. So, I'll look at my debug messages here, but basically all I had was connection with NecroStar that whole time. Anytime I connected, I didn't get any of my other debug messages, which means it was never making it into there, which also makes me wonder why it was doing any bullet impact in the first place. Dude, this is so nice. Thanks a lot, man. Yeah, we've put a lot of time into this so far, so just in our free time. So, yep, that's what it's supposed to do. Reminds you of the arcade. So we're building this exclusively for the arcade initially, and we've got several arcades that have already reached out to us, and they want us to either give them a quote, and we've already actually sold one arcade cabinet, and we've actually got another prototype arcade cabinet that we are taking to MGC with us. So we're going to be at MGC. Once we get this to the finalized state, we've got it in arcades, then we're going to talk about what other platforms we would like to release it to. But yeah, we would like to try to get the hang of C++, and dude, this game is nice. Thanks a lot, man. Yeah, this has been a lot of fun building for sure. So back to where we were at. Weapon attack. We kept seeing. I wonder if there's another bullet impact that's firing somewhere that shouldn't be firing. But the weird thing was the only debug message we saw was this one. And we never made it to these. I think I see what's happening. This is what's happening often. Well, no, I mean, that's only if the Necrostar has reversed, but I mean, it's not really reversed by default. There's Marquet left in the Netherlands. You don't see much of them these days. I know one, but it's way over in Amsterdam. Oh damn. Gotta go. Thanks a lot, Marticus. Good to see you in here, man. Okay. Wait a minute. There's another one that's occurring. Gotta follow. Lewis Davies, thanks for the follow, man. This is what's happening quite frequently. And this is our problem. This is our problem. I'm gonna just replace these with this and this. This would be what's causing it. So basically, if the connection is right, I'm gonna change this back to argument 0 because I'm okay with this being argument 0.x if it's not the katana. But the problem is, man, let me think here for a second because I can reduce some code here and I would like to do that. Yep. Let's do that. So let's say let's set a variable katana connect equals false. Or let's just say connect equals false. And we can just set connect equals true down here. You don't have to do these if-else statements. Connect equals true. And then we'll just look and see what the weapon was that connected with it. And then we'll do an if-else. Connect equals true. Connect equals true. And then down here, right outside of here, we'll say if connect equals true, then we'll do the check. And we'll do the check to see what the weapon type is that's connecting with it, which is what this is. Else. And that's when I'll go like this. We will play the sound if there's a connection that actually occurs. And we will also do the other impact if it's not the katana impact. So the katana impact will always put it x minus 22, so it'll be out in front. Maybe that's correct, maybe it's not. Let me think about that. And I think I might want to say hit necro star 1. Where are we at? Hit necro star 1 dot y. That's wrong. Wherever the y position is, plus 20, basically 22 pixels to the left of center on the necro star. Then that means we can remove this code. I'm just trying to deduplicate some code here. Sound impact metal, yep. Remove this code. Remove this code. And then this guy right here can go away. And I think that might be it. I can even take the debug message away because I know that this has got to be the problem. Connect, connect. No need to connect right there because we're doing something different. Okay. Yeah, I do want to say hit hotspot.x, hit hotspot.y. Create the blood. Okay. Let's try this. Let's go check this out because I think we just fixed it. All right. I'm going to make this full screen real quick, so sorry about that. Here we go, back in.
Mission 1, Death at Dusk. Go!
Alright, I'm just going to fast forward to get to the necro star chunks. Boom. I don't know if I like where that's hitting. It's like basically right in the center. Looks off to me. I wanted it to hit the Y position. Anyway, alright. So let's go look at that one more time. We're in a good spot with this. We're almost got it to exactly where we need it to be. X minus 22. Oh, the Y position. Let's do argument 0.y and see if that fixes that. Because it's basically saying, let me see one thing real quick. Yeah, let's try that. It's basically just going to say if it's at the Y position of the necro star, which is basically 0, it's going to be right in the center of it. And I'm trying to prevent it from looking kind of like that. I want it to be basically wherever the katana hits it. So if we use the katana's Y position, that should be like not right in the center of it.
Mission 1. Death at dusk.
Oh, not right. Not correct, not correct. So it kind of looks right, but the other problem is that so what's happening right now is the hitbox on the katana is not precise. It's an ellipse. So it's basically going to say that the Y position is always out in front. But if the hitbox was precise, we might be able to fix that. But I'm got to make sure that if I make the hitbox on the katana precise, that it still feels correct when it's hitting everything else. Because right now, it's not precise, it's an ellipse. I'll show you what I mean by that. So the weapons are here. The katana, I'm not trying to use that. The katana is here. The mask is basically this ellipse. I think you can see what I'm seeing. Let me make sure of it. Nope. Give me a second. I'll make sure you can see. Okay, so the katana hitbox is this ellipse right here, as opposed to being something like this where it's precise and it only hits wherever it actually is swiping. It's an ellipse right now because I've through testing it's only felt right if it is similar to this right here. So there might be another solution to this, which is to make I think I've got it in my head, to make a hidden katana swipe that is also it's basically like a duplicate katana that has the same mask, so it still kills anything that comes near it, because that's what feels right literally when you play the game. And let this guy be precise, and this will give us an exact location of where it's hit the Necro Star chunk at. So let's try that really quick. Let me make sure I left that on precise when I got out of there. Yeah, it's on precise. Okay. Hit play. Let's try this and see if this feels better. Lewis Davies, thanks a lot, man. Come back and see us. Thanks for the follow. All right. Here we go again. Still compiling. Come on, Game Maker.
Mission Death at Dusk. Go!
Pretty accurate. That feels pretty accurate still. There's a couple of like odd missed swipes, so I think I am gonna have to make that invisible version of this guy too. So let's go check this out. Fast forward. There it is.
Continue.
Not Not that would fix the problem. It still wasn't quite right with the Necrostar. Like the impact wasn't quite. I think the problem is the precision on the hitbox didn't quite fix it like I thought it would. So I definitely want to put the hitbox back the way I had it because it just feels more accurate when it is the ellipse. And I may just have to take the katana slash off of it for now. The katana impact off of it for now. Let's see. You see what the hitbox is on the Necrostar. So that is precise. So maybe I'm just going back and forth here in my mind. I might try to put this on precise one more time. And I'm wondering if setting this back to the precision of the Necrostar Y would now, since they're both precise, if that would now allow me to have that show up exactly where I want it. So we're looking for scripts, weapon impact, and Necrostar right here. Back to this guy, Necrostar.y. And yeah, if it's the katana, just use that one. All right. Try again. Okay, still compiling. Here we go.
Mission 1. Death at dusk. Go!
That's